Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a new theatrical release, Let 'Em Go. Before we begin, let me know in the comments if you were looking forward to this or what your thoughts were if you've seen it already, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews. It helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This stars Diane Lane and Kevin Costner as Margaret and George, an older married couple whose son dies suddenly, and their widowed daughter-in-law, played by Kayli Carter, remarries. When she and her husband move and go off-grid along with their young grandson, Margaret and George set out to track the couple down and make sure their grandson is okay. This is written and directed by Thomas Bazooka and is based on the novel of the same name by Larry Watson. It also sees Diane Lane and Kevin Costner reteaming as a married couple after appearing as the Kents in Man of Steel. And they worked well together there, but I did have my reservations about this movie because I wasn't entirely sure what kind of tone it was ultimately aiming for. I got vibes that one moment it was trying to be this laid-back, subdued drama that appealed more to older audiences, and then the next it seemed like there may have been hints of an exciting thriller that appealed more to a broader audience, and it turns out it tried mixing both. Now, for the most part, the tone it takes on the most is a quiet, low-key feel revolving around family drama, as Costner and Lane try tracking down their grandson, and at 2 hours it'll feel like a slow burn at times. There's a lot of tension here, though it builds up at a steady pace. Plus, it also has elements of film noir, as they cross paths with mysterious people who have some sort of connection to their grandson's stepdad, and they'll talk in this cryptic manner, and it raises Costner and Lane's suspicions as to what they're potentially walking into. Additionally, it does incorporate elements of an exciting revenge thriller once they do meet the family, and when it gets to these moments, it's exhilarating. The score will be chilling, the conversations are tense, and it'll have a little bit of action that had me honestly on the edge of my seat. Though these moments don't encompass the entire movie, they're the result of a lot of buildup. Now, I found that payoff to be absolutely worth it, though I will say the drastic shift in tones may not be for everyone. It'll have this really high-stakes standoff that lasts for a few minutes, and then it'll go back to that low-key feel for another 20 minutes or so I can see some people being a little put off by it. That being said, I still really enjoyed this film, and it's a lot better than I expected it to be. Even in its more restrained moments, it's still very engaging thanks to the really well done family drama. It touches upon a few things, such as the determination of these two grandparents to make sure not only their grandson, but their former daughter-in-law are both safe and in good hands. And it also shows what it's like to be trapped in this toxic relationship and how it's not so easy to just escape. We see Kayli Carter's new husband is abusive and controlling, and it takes its toll on her. And as Lane and Costner try talking to her about it at first, they see how she's clearly not happy with how this guy has a hold over her and her son. And a lot of the time, she doesn't even need to say anything to make that clear. We can just see from her facial expressions that it drains her and wears her out, but she feels somewhat helpless about it. She can't easily walk away because of how controlling he is. I thought those conflicts were very well done. And the performances were just fantastic. Diane Lane and Kevin Costner were excellent together. They felt so natural in the way in which they spoke to one another that after a while, it didn't even feel like they were acting. They're an exceptional pairing. They're very straightforward with each other, and even if they don't agree with the other's decisions, they remain supportive of each other. Things may get tense between them, but it didn't devolve into generic soap opera-like squabbling. In fact, the film didn't feel generic by any means. I never really got a sense of familiarity from it. There wasn't ever a time I found myself thinking I knew what was going to happen, and that's due to some really solid writing and direction from Bazooka. He'll capture a lot of moments where a character is mulling over what their next decision is going to be, and no one ever plays their cards too soon. When we see Lane and Costner encounter someone new, you never know if things will remain calm or end in a tense standoff. So that was some outstanding work right there. In addition to film noir, it incorporates elements of a western. It'll take place on farms, in small towns, out in countrysides, characters travel via horse at times, and whenever it leans into those elements, we'll get some beautiful shots out of it. The cinematography is stunning, with some of the landscapes being absolutely breathtaking to look at, as Lane and Costner traveled through the mountains to these isolated small towns. On a technical level, this was crafted expertly. Lane gave the best performance of the film as we see her consistent determination to get her grandson back, but the antagonists are also expertly done as well. This is a family full of controlling, creepy people, and we see just how manipulative and aggressive they are when it comes to getting their way. They give Lane and Costner a run for their money, and anytime they're on screen, they'll send chills up your spine, especially Leslie Manville and Jeffrey Donovan, who just had incredible screen presence and chew up the scenery. You grow to really enjoy hating these characters. characters. As for the cons, besides some issues in tone, I think even at 2 hours, I would have been totally good if it was just a little longer. Reason being, it tries establishing some character dynamics early on that play a part later in the movie that didn't quite hit as hard as they wanted them to. Mainly the relationship between Diane Lane and Kayli Carter. It tries to show that they have a somewhat strained relationship and that's supposed to play a part in Kayli Carter potentially not wanting to leave with them, but it's seen in one quick moment at the very beginning that feels almost throwaway, because right afterwards is when we find out the son dies and then it cuts to her remarrying and she's distanced from the rest of the family and then the main story kicks in. Even though a lot of this movie was slow burn, that first part of the movie is like one thing right after the other, and it could have been fleshed out just a bit more. They'll touch upon the strained relationship they have later on in the movie, and while I enjoyed the performances, it's treated like a big thing, but I never felt the stakes around it because it wasn't built off a strong foundation. They could have just added an extra 10 minutes to the movie, and I don't think it would have totally ruined anything. In fact, even though I thought it was great, it would have made it even better. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it would be good based on the trailer, but it was even better than I expected it to be. It takes elements of family drama, film noir, and westerns and blends them into an experience that never felt predictable or familiar. While it did have some issues in balancing tone, with its slow burn aspect possibly being off-putting for some, it's still an engaging story. And it's boosted by some incredible performances, with Diane Lane, Kevin Costner, Leslie Manville, and Jeffrey Donovan all doing great jobs. It's out in theaters only at the moment, so if you're able to get to one, I'd say it's certainly worth the watch. Let 'Em Go gets an 8 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Let 'Em Go, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the performances? Did you enjoy the story? And what's your favorite Western? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time.